Hi, my name is Onyoto Ann. I am a life coach and I do videos on personal development and spirituality. If this is your kind of thing, you're most welcome to subscribe. So today I want to speak on a particular book which is called The Four Agreements. The Four Agreements has been written by an author called Don Miguel Ruiz. And he says it is a practical guide to personal freedom. So if you're looking for personal freedom from yourself, if you're looking for personal freedom from others, this is a delicious book to read. So it helps you understand yourself better because he looks at something he calls domestication, which are basically limiting beliefs, how they affect your life, how they affect how you view others, and so on. And he goes ahead now to give the four agreements which are supposed to lead you to personal freedom. So today I want to speak on the third agreement, which is do not make assumptions. How many of us are making assumptions about others? Because the problem with making assumptions about others is we think we know what people are doing, we think we know what people are thinking, and immediately we get into trouble because we have not asked. We get into trouble because we have not asked. And there's so much drama. So maybe the question which I'll ask you is, are you dramatizing your life? Is there drama in your life because of assumptions you've made about a person you are in a relationship with? It can be your wife, it can be your husband, it can be your boyfriend, it can be your girlfriend, it can even be a parent, it can even be a sibling, it can even be a friend. Are you able to ask? Or are you making assumptions about what people are thinking and what people are doing? So when you see me looking like on this side is looking at my notes that I have made on the third third agreement, and there are some things I want to quote verbatim from the book. So he says that we make assumptions and believe, and we make assumptions and believe we are right about the assumptions. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make someone else wrong. You make that assumption. Once you find out that the assumption is not true, you go ahead and do what? Defend your side. And of course, we are defending with our words. And there is no way you can be polite when you're defending yourself. I'm yet to find somebody who is very calm when they're defending themselves, because you always feel agitated because you want to defend your particular side. Don Miguel Ruiz goes ahead and says, we only see what we want to see, and we only hear what we want to hear. For me, that's a strong statement, that we only see what we want to see and hear what we want to hear. And we don't perceive things as they are. So the question is, are you seeing clearly? Or are your assumptions blinding you from the truth? Can you hear? Especially when you're communicating with people who get your blood boiling. For example, if it's a husband and wife having an argument, as in, are you hearing what they are saying? Or are you assuming? Are you making an assumption to what they are saying? So he says we see what you want to see. So it's important that you acknowledge that and even ask for help from above. Ask God, I want to see clearly. I want to hear clearly, not with my own assumptions. He goes ahead and says, we often assume, he gives an example here in the book, that we often assume that our partners know what we are thinking, and we don't have to say what we want because they know us. I know that statement has landed enough couples, here an example, enough couples in trouble, that I'm assuming my husband, I'm assuming my wife knows me, so I don't need to tell them what I want. I'm here to tell you, speak up. Speak up. have the courage to speak up. Have the courage to speak up, because most of the time we do not want to have delicate conversations. We do not want to have very important conversations. We assume, but they know. The thing is, they don't. If they know, you are lucky. But we are landing into trouble because we do not want to speak, or we don't have the courage to speak, or we don't have, we don't feel safe to speak. So, do you feel safe to speak in your relationship? Can you bring up any issue in your relationship and feel safe? It's also important that when somebody comes to you, not at you, when somebody comes to you to speak to you, let us make them feel safe. Because remember, some of these people are coming, or some of us are coming from, families or upbringings where people, you were not allowed to speak up. But now, we still assume that even this partner that we have, I am not safe to speak. So, the question that I want you to ask yourself is, are you asking? Because unless you ask, you will not get an answer. The other thing is, ask yourself, do I fear to speak up? Do you have the courage to speak up? The other thing is, do I feel safe to speak up? Am I carrying things from my past and bringing them in the present because previously I could not speak, but maybe now it is safe for me to speak? So those are issues that he brings on. And another thing that I would like to pose to you is, what assumptions are you making in your relationship? Because most of the time, these are the assumptions which are making you have inner conflict, or even have conflict with your partner. What assumptions are you making? A very good assumption that people make in a relationship is, he will change because he loves me. By now, if you are in a relationship for some time, you know that's a lie. People change because they want to change, not because they love you. People change because they want to change, not because they love you. So the only solution to this is, get somebody or love somebody, get into a relationship with someone you don't want to change. Because remember, true love is loving a person as they are. Loving a person as they are. If they want to change, that's their biashara. That's their business. That is their business if they want to change. But for me, I love you as you are. But another thing is, you can never extend that kind of love if you have not extended it to yourself. Because it starts with you. That the only way I'm going to extend that kind of love is if I have accepted myself fully as I am. That does not mean that I am not trying, that I am not aspiring to be a better version of me. No, it means that right now, in this present moment, I love me for who I am. I understand that the wounds, the scars that I have gone to, that I've gone through, were there to bring me to this particular point, and they will take me to another point. So the only way you can extend that kind of acceptance for another human being is if you extend that acceptance to yourself. So just a minute. The author continues to say that the only way to stop making assumptions and to have clear communications in our relationships is to ask questions and be ready for the answer. Because remember, you have the right to ask. And also, as you're asking me or the other person, this person has a right to say yes or no. So the yes or no does not take away your right to ask. So today I want to appeal to you. Have the courage to ask, and also have the courage to hear the answer. If it's a yes, well and good. If it's a no, well and good. But have the courage to ask. Because remember, I love this phrase from an author who is a sociologist. She's called Brené Brown. She says that it's courage over fear. No, it's not courage over fear. Courage over comfort. Because most of us, we are so comfortable in our surroundings. We don't want to shake feathers. We don't want to, you don't want to rub people in the wrong way, that, we stay in our fear. Have the courage to ask, and also have the courage to hear the answer. So that is all I would like to say about that topic. But if you have time, if you love to read books, this is a book that you're going to grab. It's a very small book. Actually, it is a 140 kind of book. So this is something that you can be reading. When you're in traffic, when you're traveling, when you're in the house, this is something that will really change how you view life. So I want to wish you well. I want to wish you a good afternoon, a good morning, depending on when you are watching this, and see you when you see me.